Today we are at InfoChef 2025. Today has been all about welcoming schoolgoers here to teach them about having a career in culinary, what's that all about, and the doors that it can open for you if you had to be a chef or in the hospitality industry. I think that the morale has been fantastic. It's been exciting. We've had some really great feedback. There's so much to see and do. There's conferences, there are workshops and talks, there's exciting competitions that are happening. InfoChef, after all, is the premier culinary exhibition in South Africa, and it happens right here in Gauteng, hosted by the South African Chefs Association.
Hi, my name is Naledi and I'm here at InfoChef for a career expo. I'm a consumer learner, so I was here to know more about cooking and being a chef and pursuing a career in consumer studies. Yes, it has been a great experience, by the way. We were taken to the exhibits. We saw different careers where there's cooking and where there's cooking, being a chef, and baking. But I would like to pursue baking because I really like baking. And own my business, a company one day of selling cakes or yes.
I'm here to tell you guys what you need to do in order to become a professional chef. So, being a chef, guys, it's nip up and flex. It is very, very hard. It's a lot of work. It really needs you to have passion, determination, and a lot of discipline. Trust me, if you do not have passion for this, you are not going to last in the kitchen. The kitchen is a lot of work. Right? You need to be very hygienic, firstly, from your appearance, the way you look, the way you present yourself. Your chef jacket always has to be white. If it's white, if it's black, it has to be black. Make sure that you're always neat, you're always clean, you're always looking fresh. Just taking care of yourself so that you make sure that, because the food, you're not going to eat food that comes from somebody that looks very untidy now. You have to look the part, you have to look presentable. Whatever it is that you think you want to do, just do it.
So behind the kitchen at the back of house, there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of knowledge that you need to have as an individual to ensure that you produce the best results possible as to your ability. Like one student came up to me and asked me what does it mean or how do I become a chef, and honestly I can't even answer that question. It's a passion one should have. I can't give made, but it's something that's already in you.
It refers to the way things are stored.
In. So you have to read in. Store things in. Like storage and get it in.
Okay, do you guys know?
I'm here with my learners, my grade 10s and grade 11s, to give them exposure to SA chefs, to give them opportunities to culinary schools, sponsorships and bursaries. So I'm here with my very well-behaved, beautiful learners. I love them very much, and I'm delighted that they were able to pay for this trip and they were able to come and learn. I hope that they better their lives, and I hope they have a bright future and they remember me. Thank you.
Welcome back. You're still watching Prime Life. I mean, that was so beautiful to watch. And just as opening to our next interview with Chef Koo, who is the president of the South African Chef Associations, to chat, about the Info Chef 2025 event that just took place, as well as the exciting winner of the Chocolate Master Challenge that took place at the Info Chef 2025 event. Thank you so much for joining us, Chef Koo. Welcome to Prime Life.
Good evening, and thank you for having me once again.
Thank you so much. Now, the last time you were here, you spoke about what to expect at the InfoChef 2025 event today. So can you please tell us how the event actually went?
Sure. I think your introductory clip, summed it all up. I think you saw the eagerness of those young chefs, just wanting to absorb as much information as they could. And this is what InfoChef was all about. And, looking back now over the last 2 days, InfoChef for 2025 was definitely a massive success. It was a great opportunity for the industry to connect on such a level, because it's been approximately 5 years, since the industry had to reestablish itself following the pandemic and all of that. So it was so great to see the industry after such a long time, coming onto this platform once again, as InfoChef, and to connect in so many different ways, through the seminar, through the workshops, the competitions, and just the basic networking, and having scholars looking up to senior chefs and celebrity chefs, and having the senior chefs actually connect with some of the up and coming chefs. And that was just amazing to see.
That's beautiful. Now, what was some of the highlights of the event for you?
I think for me, the biggest one was to see the partner participation from InfoChef. And when I talk about partners, it's not just suppliers and vendors, but partners in our industry, partners to the association. So to see partners like workplaces, partners like product development, partners like culinary schools that came in a really big way to showcase not only their products and their institutions, but to also showcase the industry at large. We had such a massive culinary school participation, and like you can see on the screen right now, we also had massive participation from the feeder schools that actually feed into those culinary schools or tertiary education institutions. So that was great to see. And then, of course, the biggest highlight was having the demo stations there managed by the Nyama Battle Chefs, who are our local celebrities, Chef Moses and Chef Keegan. And then on day 2, we had 2 very, very interesting competitions, the CT8 skills competition, and then the Chocolate Masters Challenge, which was fantastic to see the talent coming through that.
That's very impressive. Now, could you please share some examples of innovative dishes or techniques that were showcased during the event that really, really impressed you?
So I think for me, what excited me was the fact that there was a bit of a revival of a dedicated skills competition. Now, we've hosted many competitions over the last couple of years, which is basically, your normal culinary competitions focusing on either a 3-course meal or a mystery box challenge. But it's been a very long time since we've had a competition that focuses on skill. And to see these young chefs come through from culinary schools together with their mentors, and they had to cook from a mystery box of ingredients. But not only that, it was the biggest focus was on skills and technique, and that is something that we haven't done in a long time, and it was so incredible to see it. And what's more daunting than cooking a mystery box of ingredients, because you don't know what you're getting, but it's also cooking in an unknown kitchen, and more than that, you're cooking being watched by public. So, it's very nerve-wracking. And when they were done with that, it didn't end there. They had to then go on and do a further theory 20-question exam, if you want to call it. And the reason behind that is because, the world of a chef today has changed. It's not all about the cooking. When a professional chef is done in the kitchen, he or she then has to focus on administrative tasks, and that is things like menu planning, menu costings, procurement, rostering of their staff, managing their kitchen finances. So those are the types of things that we were trying to pull in, and not just focusing on practical skills, but also ensuring that they have the administrative and theory knowledge behind it. And then, of course, we had, the chocolate masters, and that was just, all about skill and technique and working with chocolate. And, that was really, really innovative to see what showpieces came out of that. And the chocolate showpieces were definitely the talk of InfoChef yesterday.
And I want us to touch a little bit more about the, chocolate part, because I understand that there was a particular focus on Malaysian chocolate, during the InfoChef event. So what led you to choose this theme?
I think firstly we need to look at a bit of the history, of palm oil. And unfortunately in industry, palm oil has always received very negative attention, particularly around the effects that it has on the environment. But I must give credit to Malaysia and the Malaysian government for taking a stand and being the pioneers of change and ensuring that the palm oil from Malaysia is sustainable and it's certified. And Malaysia are the first country that ensures that all of their palm oil farms are certified. And then bringing in the palm oil as part of the ingredient into the chocolate compound was also very, very important. And I think that for us was the showcase, is that the compound chocolate that was used yesterday, had to contain palm oil from Malaysia, because we wanted to show the sustainable aspect of why it's so important to use Malaysian palm oil products going forward.
That's beautiful. Now, can you share with us some of the key judging criteria that made, this year's winner stand out from the competition?
So I think, just going back to what I said earlier, the focus this year was on skill and technique. And when it comes to dessert making and chocolate work, you have to hone in on those skills. It's very time consuming. It's very pressurizing as well. Again, working in a public domain, being watched as you, mix your different types of chocolate, and, you're busy with your sculptures and also the baking and the cooking part of it. So the focus was on looking at those technical skills and how the chefs and how the pastry chefs were bringing that, or bringing their vision to light. And one of the key aspects that I must also mention is that the theme for the Chocolate Masters competition was also inspiration from Malaysia. So the chocolate showpieces that they had to create had to replicate or represent an aspect from Malaysia.
That is so interesting. Now, the Chocolate Master Challenge sounds like something that's very exciting. What advice would you give to aspiring chefs, who are looking to enter this competition?
So just to go back to what a young chef said earlier on the clip, just to be a chef, it starts with having the passion. And if when you have a passion, don't let anyone bring you down. Let your passion shine. Unfortunately, not everybody's going to be a winner on the first competition. And I think entering a competition is the first step. And once that competition bug bites you, trust me, it will never leave you. And it will want you to enter more and more competitions. And what this does is that it increases your skill, it increases your ability to work in a pressurized competition environment. Because what one needs to remember, that working in a kitchen is very different to working in a competition kitchen, because you are timed, and as they say, you're only as good as the last dish you prepared. And that is really evident when you do competition. So my advice is that if you really want to do it, go out and do it. Don't let anyone stop you, but also don't be disheartened if you don't get a winner position or a top 3 position on your first competition. Just work on the errors that you may have made, listen to the judges, and then just practice, practice, practice. And that's how you're going to excel in the competition arena.
That is so beautiful. Now, aside from the Chocolate Master Challenge, what other exciting events or demonstration took place at InfoChef 2025?
So I think what was also great, and just to touch again on the Malaysian palm oil, we had a huge showcase to walk through the history about Malaysian palm oil. And I think that was a great showcase specifically for professional chefs to understand, the stance that Malaysia has taken, as I mentioned, on palm oil. We also had a fantastic seminar and product activations on various levels of InfoChef. But I also think what was the key highlight for me was the engagement of the young generation, and where we now have, as SA chefs, needed to be a bit relevant. And we actually introduced for the first time TikTok games that was actually very, very well received. And I think the key highlight on the demonstration area was having Chef Moses and Chef Keegan from the Nyama Battle fame, having, being celebrity chefs interacting with those young kids.
That is quite impressive. Could you give us an idea of when we can expect to see the next competition take place next year?
Well, we don't have to wait until next year. We're 3 weeks away from our next competition,
Oh, wow.
which is showcasing, again, young talent. And that's what we want. We want to see young talent come through. And we've partnered again, with a large frozen veg company to showcase talent through using convenience products, but taking it up a notch. And it will be held on the 23rd and 24th of August. And again, it's just looking at skills, looking at innovation, looking at the taste profiles, and how do you take an everyday frozen packet of veg and elevate it to a fine dining plate of food.
That is quite impressive. I mean, thank you so much for joining us, Chef, and just for, giving us an inside scoop of what was actually happening at the event for those who might have missed it. So thank you so much for all the information that you have provided us.
Thank you. And thank you for iNext Prime for being our media partner.
You are most welcome. Viewers at home, this was such an amazing conversation that I just had with Chef Koo regarding, the event that took place, which is the InfoChef 2025 event. And he did say that in the next coming 3 weeks, we are expecting another competition. We don't have to wait all the way to next year. So this is just, this interview was just to give you an insight of what to expect in terms of the events. But also as a chef, if you do have a passion for cooking, or being in the kitchen, it takes a lot of passion, but it's such events and such competitions that will, fuel your passion. But without wasting any time, let's go to a quick break. We will see you right after this.